None other than Triumph. Over to you guys. Thank you.
There it is, the very first Icon Award. Please unveil it for Triumph. Let's hear it once again.
Well, who's talking?
Come on, Gilbert.
No.
It's always Gil.
Actually, it's not always Gil, but I was nominated here by my bandmates because of the origins of Triumph and probably being able to tell the story. And what a story it is. But I'd like to start by thanking John Kovac for his nice introduction earlier, as well as Stevens, continuing on, chapter 2. And extend well wishes to Mayor Carolyn Parrish, who had a knee surgery and wasn't able to be here today, but sent some very nice words. So we'll all hope for a fast recovery for Mayor Parrish. I'd like to thank the board, Clifford, Patty, Don McVie, Demetrius, Joey C. Thank you so much for considering us for this great award. And the great things you do in Mississauga that have been stated clearly by other people on the podium here, I want to underscore that because this is a great organization that's worthy of support by all of us here in Mississauga. Charles Souza, thank you for your kind words as well. And Rudy Cazzetto, thank you for your comments. We've had an awful lot of support from so many sectors. We've been very lucky as a band here in Mississauga because of that support. And our current support, sitting right here, Jason Murray and Elise Bailey, who do a phenomenal job, along with Wendy Raposo from Metalworks in supporting all our activities. The great story here is that Jim Murray, who's one of the greatest citizens of Mississauga there'll ever be, is Jason's dad. And Jason started his music career before he became a big shot, because he now has 60 employees, he has 4 offices, and I can't even tell you how great his business is. Jason started as a co-op, a high school co-op student at Metalworks. Isn't that unbelievable? And moving on, how did I get up here? Well, let's start with nicknames. If a Mississauga band, we have to have nicknames, so people don't know these nicknames. So Rick Emmett is actually referred to by Rocket internally. You understand, he plays like as fast as lightning. So I mean, why would you not call him Rocket? Then we have Mike Levine, who's simply Mikey. Mikey. Sometimes Mikey likes it, sometimes Mikey doesn't like it. But he's Mikey. And then there's the crazy nickname that they gave me. I'm the Birdman of Mississauga. I don't know how I became the Birdman of Mississauga. Anyway, I'm going to switch to my readers here because clearly I can't see what I'm doing. There we go. This isn't really a written speech. This is kind of half winging it. But so, where did we start? Let's get down to the roots of this whole thing. We'll start with myself. I started at Streetsville Secondary, actually not Arundel. Arundel was not there yet. Actually, before that, I went through the same nonsense that Donna went through at T.L. Kennedy, where I did love the music teacher, but he insisted that I play trumpet because he thought that drums were for, I won't say what he thought drums were for. So, fortunately, I had braces on my teeth at the time, and unfortunately, and the trumpet mashed the inside of my lips. So I rolled up my top lip and begged to be a drummer. Forthwith, he sent me to the practice room, which was silent and soundproof, and said, "Don't come out for the rest of the year." That turned out to be a huge blessing because I was able to woodshed and start on my 10,000 hours. Now, meanwhile, I moved up to Streetsville Secondary. That didn't play out too well when I was incarcerated at Streetsville. Ultimately, my music teacher told me I had to leave the band. Not because I was a bad drummer, but because I was incorrigible. When he told me that, I thought incorrigible was a good word. I thought that I'm incorrigible, that's fantastic. But then I learned what incorrigible was. So leaving Streetsville, getting out in the real world, and having to have a band, I had a formula that I had to get with better musicians. So I decided I will never be a member of a band that will have me as a member. So my bands, I was always over-aspiring. Enter Mike Levine, Mikey. So Mike was way ahead of what I was doing, and he was in recording studios. He had bands that were successful, all sorts of things. It's well documented in our documentary that I more or less begged Mike to join my sort of fledgling, haphazard, ramshackle group called Abernathy Shagmaster, which was a very questionable move on Mike's part, but I was able to persuade him to do that. So Mike and I set out to build a power trio. That was our great idea. So we realized we were one superstar guitar player short of a load, but we didn't let that hold us back. Mike was very smart, went to a record label called Attic Records at the time, and persuaded them to give him a recording contract and a $1,000 check. So the first thing we did, which is very logical, we made a poster with a devil's head. So we had no guitar player per se, but we did have a poster with a devil's head. And there were flames behind this devil's head. So it's a very impressive devil's head poster, if I do say so myself. Straight away, we did some research, local research, and we found Rick languishing at the Hollywood Tavern of all places on the Queensway. What an establishment it was. And again, Mike sort of persuaded Rick with this check. He opened his briefcase, Rick saw the check, and he jumped in with us. I mean, who else has a check and a devil's head to go along with it? That was the very, very beginning. So, beyond that, we started rehearsing. So where did we rehearse? Our rehearsals commenced not too far from where we're standing, about a drive in a 3-iron over yonder at the corner of Mississauga Road and Lakeshore. On the northeast corner, I think it's a Pilates studio now or something along those lines. It was a bowling alley back in the day. And we rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed. And I think across the street there was a little restaurant. It's now a real estate company. I think it was called the West Side Tavern. I'm not sure. But anyway, that's where we ate. That's where we rehearsed. And we did our 10,000 hours. And it was relentless. And Mike was very good, and Rick was very good. And I was trying to keep up with them. And it started to be very taxing for me at that time. So, I was thinking at one moment we were riding the stairway to heaven, and then a day later I thought perhaps this is the highway to hell. I think I was getting PTDD at the time, post-traumatic drummer's disorder. I started to have nightmares about Mike and Rick and myself. My Mike nightmare went like this. I would hear Mike in my back left side. I would hear this huge wall of coming. And the next thing you know, in my dream, I would see a herd of rhinoceroses coming my way, a stampede of rhinoceroses suffering from extreme flatulence. And then the next one be Rick. And all of a sudden, I would see Rick, and he'd be playing one of those guitar solos. Donna, you can relate to this. Does anybody play faster notes than Rick? I mean, it's like, always way up high on the neck where there's no frets almost, you know? So I'd hear Rick blowing this fantastic solo, but the next thing you know, in my dream, I'd turn around and it wasn't Rick. It was a swarm of hornets coming right at me, going around my head. So it was very difficult in those early days.
Are you okay?
I'm okay, Mike. I'm doing fine. So anyway, we emerged from the bowling alley as a power trio from Mississauga, and we'd done an analysis of the market, and there was ZZ Top, and nobody else, I think, in America. And in Canada, Rush was a little before us, but separate territory. So we thought there was maybe a shortage in the market and supply and demand for power trios. This could be a really good thing. But seriously, folks, 49 years and 11 months ago, we played our first show, which was in Simcoe District High School. And we started Metalworks as our headquarters right here on Mavis and Burnham Thorpe in 1977, a very, very long time ago. We played concert tours all over the planet, and we've been fortunate enough to have lots of great things happen to us, a lot of awards and things that we never thought were possible, and we're very grateful for all of those things. But I must say, getting an award in your hometown is something that's special beyond any other award you get anywhere else in the world. So I sincerely want to thank everyone from the bottom of all of our hearts for this great award. And we're very, very happy and pleased. And it's wonderful to go in with Donna Grandis at the same time, who has a remarkable career. So nice to meet you, Donna. Congratulations to you. And I want to mention the people that really deserve the award more than us are our families. And we have many of them today. Unfortunately, Rosie's not here today and Matt's not here today. But they are nonetheless the backbone of the Levine family. Rick knocks it out of the park. He's got more grandkids than we have people on stage here. His lovely wife Jeanette is right there, and almost all of his children. Shannon, Ashley, and Brendan are here. Cassandra, I understand, couldn't make it, but we have so many grandchildren to fill in all the chairs, no one notices. That's wonderful. My lovely wife, Sunny, is right there in the front row beside my daughter, Holly. Easy to spot the blonde hair at a distance, if anyone's wondering. And my son, Miles, is sitting right beside Holly. Lauren and Craig and little Everly, unfortunately, they were ill today, so they weren't able to attend. But I think I speak for all three of us when I say without our families, we wouldn't be standing here. We've had these long-term marriages and long-term successes with our family that have really kept us in good stead and helped us so many times in so many ways. Thank you very much for this wonderful award.
All right, we have a big special treat for you now. All the way from Chatham, they've been waiting patiently. They drove 2 hours to get here, and I'd like to take this opportunity